Good morning, Larice. Larice, anime. Larice, donut aficionado. Krispy Kreme, though. And hello, Lazy Larry. I don't know if you guys are still here or not. Hey, my scheduling on this whole YouTube thing, I can't get the hang of it. So, anyway, what can I do? What can I do? Is it 9 a.m. in the Philippines? That is the question. That is the question. Anime, how are you today? Are you having a nice weekend so far? Is it weekend? Oh, yeah, it's Saturday. Is it 9 a.m. in the Philippines? Larice, how are you, Larice? The Philippines' most eligible bachelorette and up and coming socialite. Hey, what time is it in the Philippines right now? What time is it in the Philippines? Hi to Lazy Larry. Am I early? What time is it? What time is it there? Did I mess up again? It's showing 9 a.m. on my computer, GMT time. That should be Filipino time. But when I scheduled my on my calendar for the live stream on StreamYard, I don't know, man. StreamYard has its own mind, or I don't know. I thought I did it correctly. Larry Lee is in the house. Thanks so much. Douglas and Eli's Philippine Life. Ellie's Philippine Life. A mighty fine looking couple there. Oh, it's 9 a.m. So you see, that's what I thought. I put that on my sticker, but for some reason, uh, things don't things didn't math out when I set it up on StreamYard. Anyway, I don't know. I don't know if I got it right or not. Well, anyway, welcome live from Bangkok. What was the subject going to be today? I have it here on my phone. I got three phones over here. I'm um, just gonna read mostly, because I need notes, these days. Mel is here. Hi, Mel. How's it going? Shout out to all and a good morning. I think I was going to talk about, since Minnie and I were getting ready to re-enter the Philippines, I was going to talk about Balikbayan privilege a little bit. Maybe some might be interested in how the whole thing works. I know I am, because I have to re-enter the Philippines in a couple of days with Ma'am Minnie. The benefits of being married to a Filipina are enormous. They're enormously helpful. I can tell you that. We're fine. We're fine. Minnie's over here working the phone. You'll probably see her. You'll probably see her doing something on Facebook. I'm not sure.
Facebook and reading.
You're reading right now. Okay.
Reading
All right.
Google Honey.
All right. You're on Google.
What's in news?
Are you watching me?
No, not here. News.
Oh, you're reading the news. Okay. I guess, yeah. I guess Man Minnie must be reading about the earthquake that happened in Leyte. I guess they had a big earthquake in Tacloban, or off the coast of Tacloban this morning.
Yeah,
Mel made a comment about it, I think, in her Facebook page, I noticed, and it was a big one. It was something like a 5.4, but it was way out in the ocean there, off of Tacloban. And they've had earthquakes there before. I think there was a small one there not that long ago, maybe even last month. And so, what was the shaking like? Mel, in Bye Bye, or anybody wants to comment. Did they feel the earthquake? What was it like? I think that mostly, if you're in Bye Bye City, even though they said there was some shaking going on, that they may or may not have felt it. According to their National Geologic Survey people, or the equivalent of it. People in Bye Bye City Leyte, where our house is, would have felt the shaking going on. Anna Mayrez says, "Good morning, ma'am, Minnie." And Larry says hello as well.
Hi there.
Mel is saying, yeah, there was an earthquake earlier at 4:25 a.m. And what was it like? Did it shake you out of bed, Mel? How strong was it? They're saying it was pretty strong. Would have been felt mostly in that Tacloban area, but the whole island of Leyte would have been shaken. Samar, yeah, Samar. Okay, Samar would have been affected, yeah, because it's the next island north, right, of Tacloban. And was there any damage that you know of, Mel, concerning that earthquake? Tim is in the house. Hi, Tim. Hey, I'm glad you showed up. Tim, we might be stopping, by your neck of the woods week after next. So I'll let you know. We can hang out for a little while. So, Tim, here's the thing. Neither man, Minnie, or I want to go home right now, and so we're gonna fly back into Manila, and then we're gonna come hunt you down. I hope that's okay. I hope that's okay. The earthquake was this morning, bright and early, from what I understand. It was somewhere around, Mel says 4:25 a.m. It was off the coast of Tacloban, and Mel is saying Samar. Very strong, most affected area is Samar. It was like 73 kilometers off the shore of Leyte, a little bit to the northeast, I would say, of Leyte, of Tacloban, if I have that correct. Yeah, earlier here in the Philippines is when it happened. We didn't feel anything here in Thailand, of course. We're way far away. Yeah. California, no, no. Why would we go there? I think I'm trying to delay the trip back to the United States for as long as I possibly can. And so, as long as I'm able to do taxes from here, file my U.S. taxes, which is the number one thing on my list of reasons why I would have to go back to the United States for any period of time, then as long as I can do it from here on TurboTax or something like that, some tax program, there won't be a reason for us to return so soon back to the U.S. So I'm trying to delay it until later in 2023, because there's still a few places I'd like to go before then. Yeah, yeah, sure. I'll send you a messenger, and we'll see if it's possible to get together. Oh, by the way, Tim, I know you heard me mention this, but we were just a few steps behind Marco from Overstay Road. He's a very successful YouTuber, and I know you don't watch his channel, right? But you know how starstruck that I can be. So we ran into YouTubers all over the place. Oh, spaghetti. Larice, how did you know that I want to talk about spaghetti? A little bit. Okay, so I was reading this article, and it's talking about it's talking about the history, or trying to present the history. I think this was on CNN. If you go to CNN U.S. travel section, right, they were talking about New Year's tradition of eating long noodles for long life, right? And now this is generally a tradition during New Year's, and so yeah, of course we saw it all over the place. It happens in many many different countries, right? Take care, Mel. And spaghetti is what we're eating, right? So on birthday celebrations and New Year's and all these special days, they serve a lot of people serve spaghetti in the Philippines, and they usually say the same thing, or they serve those other noodles, right? Spaghetti is most common, and I would imagine it's because even though it's becoming more expensive nowadays to serve up a plate of spaghetti, they serve it up on birthdays and holidays and New Year's for the same reason, right? So you could have long lasting life, And so I thought that was interesting. So the Chinese have their tradition. In Thailand, they serve up a different kind of uh, egg noodle. Oh, is Menge in the house? How you doing? I must have missed you in there. I apologize. Thanks everyone for coming to the live. By the way, I appreciate it. Yeah, spaghetti for now. So spaghetti, the history behind it, I guess, in the Philippines. I'm not sure if it has Italian influence, Chinese influence, Western or Eastern influence. My guess is Eastern, but since spaghetti is a little bit more, I mean, it's cheaper, more available to come by. And so when you want to put on a spread to celebrate somebody's birthday or the new year, then a lot of people are cooking up spaghetti and sharing it with everyone. And it's for the same reason, from what I understand, tradition and for good luck and for long life. The long noodles. But I mean, ideally, you serve up them Chinese noodles, and the Chinese noodles are long. And it's good manners, from what I understand, to slurp those noodle and not break it. If you break it, that's bad. And so you suck that thing down. You eat the noodle all in one, take. Like, you're eating the noodle by sucking it down. So I thought that was very, very interesting. So you guys correct me if I'm wrong about how this noodle thing works. Yeah, I know that's probably not the reason why you're doing it, but it caught my attention, because I'm trying to figure out what's the whole thing with spaghetti going on in the Philippines anyway. They're not Italian, they don't have any Italian heritage. I don't think the Italians occupied the Philippines. I apologize for saying that. It just came out, It just came out. Oh, there she is. Oh my goodness gracious. All right. I had to get that off my chest. Now, what are we talking about? Reentry. All right. So, before it was the things have changed so much in the past 2 years. Marianne is here. Hi, Marianne. Thanks for joining us. About re-entering the Philippines. First, the One Health Pass, and before we weren't able to. We'd have to apply for a visa and do all this nonsense, right? But not. I could understand. I said nonsense, but it really wasn't, nonsense. I mean, if you're you need to gather statistical data of who's in your country. One of the easiest ways to do it is through the computer. You take advantage of technology in order to make it a little bit, you professionalize it a little bit, and you eliminate, human error. We make a lot of mistakes. So although computers make a lot of mistakes, and so I can understand why the Philippines wants to do this. But basically, you're cooking now. We'll send you some later. Not the sweet kind. I'm not a fan of the sweet spaghetti. I just would like to point that out. Cheesy, cheesy. It depends on the cheese, because I've noticed in the Philippines they got fake cheese in the Philippines. So I don't know. Yeah, Larice wants Bavarian cream donuts, please. Don't like spaghetti for now. Yeah, I'd rather have the Bavarian cream donuts also. But anyway, where was I? I'm getting all mixed up in what I want to talk about today. Oh yeah. I don't know how Larice knew that I wanted to have a chat about spaghetti though. Maybe I had messaged her before and I'd said, hey. going to be talking about spaghetti, but I don't think so. I don't think I let Larice know in advance about that news article that I read in CNN travel section about the tradition of serving the long noodles, on New Year's or on a person's birthday, which represents long life. I mean, if you didn't have it there on a holiday, I imagine people would be thinking, oh, no spaghetti, no noodle. You know what I mean? Yeah, she is actually. Oh, yeah, yeah, that's right. Mel, you've had some mini spaghetti. That's right. That's right. I remember. Sure. Hey, Mabel, how are you? How's everything? How's life in the big city? Okay, thanks for coming to the live. I really appreciate it. Again, the time thing, hey, don't count on me for getting it right about the times. You know what I mean? I'm a simple man. It's complicated for me. Oh, by the way, before I move on and talk about this entry thing, right? Uh, Thank you for sharing, Mabel. I did have a chance. I don't see Knit Band here, of course. Listen, I don't know. I don't know if Knit Band is going to appreciate me sharing. Yeah, pancit, right? Pancit. But if you don't have the actual pancit noodle, right, which is the thin, long ones, right? You're gonna make what you have on hand, right? Sometimes that's going to be spaghetti. Oh, I got spaghetti in the cupboard. People won't be angry at me if I make spaghetti instead of pancit, right? So anyway, um, oh yeah. So I want to talk a little bit about knit band. I don't see knit band here. Yeah, I'm not speaking out of turn. I don't think knit band is going to mind at all. Me sharing that we finally had an opportunity to meet. We met at now. There's a Terminal 21 mall in Bangkok, and there's also a Terminal 21 mall, the one with the big airplane out front, or a couple of big airplanes out front. In Pattaya. We met a couple of days ago in Pattaya. Now Man Mini and I we're back in Bangkok, and Nidban is still in Pattaya. Uh, anyway, we met, and Nidban is a delightful, as you would imagine, right? He is a delightful person to hang around with, and I'm sorry we didn't get more opportunity to chit chat, but we met for a couple of hours. Once I get going, I start talking. I don't even think Nidban could get a word in edgewise with with me once I get going. He's a very, very intelligent person. Wanted to say that about him. Very insightful, has a quick wit, delightful person to hang around with. And uh, he was also telling me that he is single, but I didn't get a chance to ask him if he were single and ready to mingle. And so he's spending something like a few weeks over here in Thailand, and I think he said he was going to go. I call Nitban the mysterious man from the east, and the reason why I call him that is because Nitban was east of where I lived. I lived closer when I was living in Sacramento, California. That's in Northern California. By the way, in case you guys don't know, California is it's a big, long state, right? And if you're driving from Sacramento down to Los Angeles, it's going to take you 6 hours or 6.5. The way I drive, 7 hours to get from Sacramento to Los Angeles. So, I mean, I've had fun traveling around Southeast Asia, and they'll say, "Where are you from?" I'll say, "California." And they'll say, "What part?" And then I'll say, "Hollywood." It really irritates my wife. My neighbor's Clint Eastwood. People tend to picture California, I guess, as being kind of all bunched up, where you just walk across the street and you're at Disneyland, or you walk across the street and you're in Hollywood or something like that. That always amazes me. That always amazes me. And so I just go with it. I say, oh yeah. But see, I know if you were to want to engage me in any kind of conversation about California, I've lived and been all over the state. So you name the city, and I could take you on a driving tour of that city. It doesn't matter which one: San Francisco, San Jose, California, Sacramento, LA, Hollywood, wherever you wanted to go, Riverside, San Bernardino, Foster City, California. You name the place, I would be able to give you the driving tour. It's just the way that it is. Yes, the Bavarian Cream. That's one thing I got to tell you, Tim, that Dunkin' Donuts does very, very well, and that is that Bavarian cream tastes exactly the same as I remember it as a youngster, a young adult. Greetings from a cold South Texas. Brr, I don't even know what cold is anymore. Jerry. Jerry's here from South Texas. Anna May, what do you say? I'll say, so getting back to the knit band thing. Knit band, are you here? Are you lurking somewhere? Yeah, so I call Knitman the mysterious man to the east because he lives in a community that's east of downtown Sacramento. A very affluent community, I might add. And one more thing. Not Roseville, where listen. I just read an article. We have two cities that are growing really quickly, right? One of them is the city of Folsom. The other one is Roseville. Now, how do I know about Roseville growing so fast? It's because the U-Haul survey, right? U-Haul is a company that you rent a truck and you move one way, right? And so the number two place in the entire country, and the U.S. is a very, very big country. The number two place for one-way U-Haul truck rentals is Roseville, California. But would I live there? No, no. I wouldn't live anywhere in California these days. Not even if you force me to, because it's too expensive. But I started thinking about it as I'm reading this article. Roseville, California is not exactly the place that I would choose to live if I could live anywhere in the country or anywhere in California. But Folsom would be my choice, my number one choice. Knitman lives in Folsom, California. So you guys go look it up. Find out what Folsom, California is all about. Shaylin. Shaylin Neon blog. Thank you. Team Judy. Oh, thanks so much for being here. You go find out what Folsom's all about, and then you would want to live there too. I guarantee it. Well, Knitband lives there, so in that city somewhere. And apparently he's making enough dough that he gets to travel all over the world. So, and he's single and available. Of course, I haven't gotten personal with too many of you on this vlog. I haven't asked you, personal questions about whether you were available or not. Why would I? Why would I? Because I am married. I'm a happily married man. And so why would I inquire about your marital status? Oh, anyway. But Knitband, if it were me, I would be chasing around. Hi, Zinni. Thanks so much. Thanks so much for your support, your love and support that you send. I really appreciate it. Zach Bucci is here. I hope I said that right. Elvy's here. And Alfie is here. Thanks so much for showing up. You folks are the best. Thanks so much for your support. Okay, so now I don't know how long I'm going to be here because I have unstable internet, but I'm here early enough that we might get through, a couple of more minutes before it gets cut off. All right, let's see. Oh, wait. Oh my goodness gracious. I got my phone here, right? And so I'm supposed to be doing stuff on here, right? Marl Angela Cruz, thank you for coming. Really appreciate it. And that's who? And Nard, DC. Thank you, all that have been given support. The channel is starting to really grow at an interesting rate, an interesting um, clip. And I'm really, really appreciative of that. I really wasn't expecting it to grow so fast. Let's see, I see this Mame. Mame is here. Santa Tita. I love that name, Santa Tita. I always have. That kills me. Zandy, I gave you a jacket. And who else? Maris. I think I said that right. Maris. Let's see. Who else do I have here who stepped in? Yen. Yen is in the house. Now, how do I say this? Baby, baby, Bhaby. I have some difficulty with the pronunciation, and I apologize for that. Alfie, I see, is in here. Alfie. Shane. Thank you for being here, Shane. Naylin, thank you for being here. It's you and me, and Sek Bucci are here. Okay, I got you guys covered. Let's see. Wow, this is fantastic. What a good showing of folks. What an excellent showing of folks here. Did you guys come here to collect up your jackets? Oh, I hear Man Mini in the restroom. All right, so we're doing this live from the hotel room. So I'm done with the knit band subject, I think. All right, so now I want to move on to something else. All right, so we moved. So the first hotel that we were in, I wanted to talk about this a little bit before I talk about re-entering the Philippines. So the first hotel in Padia that we went to was just off a couple. It wasn't even half a block off the entertainment district. And the reason why I wanted to be there, actually, there were a lot of reasons why I wanted to be there, because that's where the action is. But not only that, I wanted to get some video of the dragon dance, when they come through and they do their ceremonial stuff on Chinese New Year or Lunar New Year. And I knew they were going to be there, right? Because I'd been there before many, many years ago, and I remember it. Well, I don't think I got some great shots. But anyway, we're going to put up a video of that. I don't know where it is in the lineup. I'll have to talk about that with my video editor. But anyway, you're going to see them getting ready, and earlier in the day I got some video of that, and you're going to see them doing the ceremonial dragon dance. And so that's one of the reasons why I was there. And of course, the other reason is to sit and drink beer and watch the people go by. Now, drinking beer, that shouldn't surprise anybody. I mean, I barely touched a drop of beer when I was a kid, when I was younger. And then when I retired, I kept telling everybody, I kept saying, hey, I'm not opposed to people that drink alcoholic beverages, right? I'm just going to wait until I retire. And true to form, true to my word, I started drinking beer when I retired. But I'm not a drunk, okay? Not that there would be anything wrong with being a drunk or being an inebriate, as they say, right? Yeah, yeah. I know you like that the Krispy Kreme. Yeah, I know they're tasty donuts, but they're cholesterol bombs. They're gonna kill you. I think that I would survive a little bit longer on the Dunkin' than I would on the Krispy Kreme. I love Krispy Kreme donuts. I think they're the greatest. Until I saw them make them one day, and then I said, "Oh, maybe I need to back off the Krispy Kreme a little bit." So anyway, so Mam Minnie, she also drinks beer. Getting away from the donut thing for a moment. I've been spending a lot of time on that, but you'll see donuts showing up in almost every video, and listen, I was busting up laughing. I was rolling on the ground when I saw how many hits that short video was getting. Where we were in the Dunkin', and then here's what happened. Let me tell you that story real quick. I know I'm all over the place in my usual form, but here's the thing. Here's how that Dunkin' short video came to be. Uh, I noticed that Mam Minnie was dressed in Dunkin' Donuts colors. If you go and you look, this was not planned. This Elvie, Lorraine is here. Lorraine is here. Thank you, Lorraine. Thank you, Elvie, for promoting. So I'm looking up at the sign. So here's how it happened, right? There's a true story. So I'm looking up at the sign. I see the DD. I'm looking down at Mam Minnie, and she's wearing Dunkin' Donuts colors. I look over at the donut case, and the first thing I started thinking about were all those short videos that have M&Ms and the little colored candy that look like M&Ms. What are they called? Yeah. Anyway, I hope I'm not boring any of you that are here. I probably am. But anyway, BB Coys is in the house. The whole thing is that how those things have been getting a lot of hits. So I said, how can I miss here? How can I miss? I got Mam Minnie here dressed in Dunkin' Donuts colors. I got colorful donuts that are fancy designs. If you noticed in that video, if you slow it down, you take a look. You have all kind of fancy design in there, right? And I realized that you can't miss on this, right? And of course, the icing on the donut, if you will, was the Dream On song by Aerosmith. How can you miss? You can't. You'd have to be a 5-year-old not to miss this, right? You have to be a 1-year-old not to miss this. No, I had to run with it. I had to run with it. I do apologize for the easy grab on the video. I do apologize. But you guys know that those videos where you have all the colored candy and then you have the little alligator that snaps at you, when you try and push the teeth and then it bites your finger off. Those things are getting mega views. And it's starting to irritate YouTube because, they're TikTok videos. And everybody has figured out that they plug right into the algorithms, right? They plug right in there, and you're taking YouTube's money. You're taking millions of their dollars because you're getting mega hits on those videos. And I've come to find out that YouTube doesn't like that so much. And so they're putting, how should I say this? YouTube is putting the kibosh on it. I'm not exactly sure if all what I said is true. It's just my own idea through observation, and it took me a long time to figure out what was going on. And I know some of you were on it just like that, so quick. You're such a sharp group. Me, I haven't been paying attention. But then the Dunkin' Donut thing came up, and I go, oh, I know what to do here. And what does it have? How many views does it have? 800 views or something? It's starting to slow down, but it'll probably have something like, it'll probably get to 1.2. It's not going to be, as many views as the Skittles, thing when you're opening the bag and pouring it into a bowl. And as the Skittles hit the bowl, you hear that sound, that zzz, 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 that tick, that, as you're pouring them, the sound that when you're pouring M&Ms or Skittles into a plastic bowl. You plugged right into the YouTube algorithm with the colors and the sound. It's the rhythm. It's the rhythm it's the motion of the ocean, as they say. And then boom, the thing goes viral, right? I mean, even today, if you were to put Skittles in a bowl and put that on YouTube or Facebook or anywhere else, right? It's gonna take off. It's gonna get mega views. It's gonna go viral. You guys have figured out, because you're a smart group of people, right? You have figured out that this is how the thing works. And so I'm proud of y'all. But YouTube doesn't look like they're appreciating it so much because you're taking their money. They're going to pay you the AdSense, right, for those views. They're going to pay you. They have to pay you, right? One point, you get a YouTube video like that goes viral, and they gotta pay you for it if you're monetized. No, you can't just walk. You can't just walk across the street and be at the San Diego Zoo. That would be a long walk. Might even take you 3 or 4 days to get there. And that's if you're in great shape. If you're in my kind of shape, it might take you a month to get there. No, California is not a compact state. It's almost it's like a huge country. I mean, it comprises of many, many different miles, right? It's mileage, I'm telling you, square mileage. And it's rough terrain too. It's hills, valleys, mountains, valleys, things like that. Let's see. It's about a 13-hour drive between Orange and El Paso, Texas. 800 plus miles. Yeah, that's right. So no, you can't just walk from Sacramento so when someone was visiting me from out of, even people that live in the United States don't realize this, right? So I had a friend one time say, "Hey, I'm coming into California. You think we might be able to visit Disneyland?" Sure. We could hop on a Southwest plane, which is very much like Cebu Pacific, right? They're the discount airline in California and the United States. They do like short milk runs all day long, and then you could kind of like frogger your way from Sacramento any place you want in the entire country. Eventually, you'll get there. Well, anyway, they said to me, "What do you mean we have to get on a plane?" I said, "Disneyland is down in Anaheim, California. That's 600 miles from Sacramento. You got to get on a plane, or we have to drive 6 or 7 hours in order to get there." They were amazed. "Oh, I guess we won't be going. We can go. But we're going to have to take a plane and then rent a car and then get a hotel room and do all these things. Um, I don't think we're going to be able to go. We don't have enough time." Thousand Oaks. I love Thousand Oaks. That Thousand Oaks might be another place, Tim, that I would consider living in California. That's my kind of place. Folsom and Thousand Oaks, California. Why not Roseville? People have asked me, why not Roseville? Well, they're turning it into a ghetto. You hear gunshots in the middle of the night, just like everywhere else in California. There's nothing special about it. I want to live in a special place. That's why we moved to the Philippines. I don't have to deal with listening to gunshots in the middle of the night. My blood pressure has gone way down. It's like a serene, cerebral type of experience living in the Philippines. And come to think of it, well, Minnie will tell you, I don't know, Minnie is paying attention to what we're talking about, but During Lunar New Year, when the fireworks were going off, I jumped. I mean, like sky high. I hadn't heard, anything that sounded like a gunshot in so long that when the fireworks started going off, the bang, 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 I was jumping all over the place and I had to retreat. I was hiding underneath my. Minnie was like, "No, no, Dan, it's okay. Don't worry about it. Uh, everything's going to be okay. Those aren't gunshots. Those are fireworks." So, I mean, you hear noise like that in California, and guarantee you it's gunshots. And speaking of gunshots, it's Leonard Lund. Hi from Houston, Texas. Leonard, they invented weaponry there. All right. So anyway, most of the people in the chat, they're not from California, United States. They probably don't have any idea what I'm talking about. No, no. What they're thinking about right now is gathering with their family and friends and enjoying the weekend, you know, barbecuing pork and enjoying some homemade coconut wine. Even San Diego has changed a lot. I think you'd have to go over the hill in order to escape what's going on in San Diego, So, yeah. See, there's a lot of is it affluence or rich people that live in California, and so you have a lot of affluent communities, but even those communities are being infiltrated by thugs. That's a point I'm trying to make here. You can't escape it. Nobody knows. If you've lived in California for a long time, right, you don't even realize that another world exists somewhere else. Of course you can find sanctuary in the states. Of course you can. I wasn't implying that you couldn't, but there's no place that I know of in California where you can find it. And it's ironic because Folsom is where one of the most well-known prisons is in the entire country is Folsom State Prison. I think they renamed it. This is where Johnny Cash put on his concert. Very famous prison is in Folsom, but yet it's safe there. Probably because everybody's locked up. That's probably what's going on there. All the criminals are locked up, but they're running rampant in Roseville, California. And in Sacramento. That's why we had to escape. We had to escape because I could not put up with it any longer. I couldn't put up with all that noise, that was going on, all the gunshots in the middle of the night and police cars racing back and forth with their lights and sirens blaring. All right. So now, enough of this nonsense. No, that's impossible because when Dan is live streaming, most of it is nonsense, right? All right, so now I covered Knit Band, I covered Folsom, I talked about spaghetti. I told Tim, unstable Dan and unstable internet, Tim. Tim, I might be making his way down there. It's as good a place as any. Going to Pampanga, Angeles City is as good a place as any, right? If you want to go hide out for a few weeks. And so we'll have to see. Beth is here. Beth is in the house. I know I've been neglectful on issuing jackets to you folks. I do apologize. About that. Minnie Snow's here. Jack's Vibes is here, checking in. Thanks so much for being here. I really, really appreciate it. And so you're all jacketed as of right now. Jax and Minnie Snow. Let's see, who else do I have here? I got phones going everywhere. All right, so let me switch over now. Let me switch over to for those of you that will end up marrying Knit Band or someone else. Anna Mae, what do you say? What's it going to be today? I can't wait to meet you, Anna Mae Reyes. We're going to have to figure that out. I'm not sure it's going to be this trip or not, because we are flying back into Manila, and that's what I was going to talk about momentarily. And Larice lives so far away from Manila, but she is the Philippines' number one most eligible bachelorette and socialite, moving up the social ladder steadily but consistently. All right. All right, so I was reading this article. So this is interesting. I actually found some errors, I think, in this article. This is what makes it so complicated, when understanding how Westerners end up in the Philippines. We know what all happened in the last couple of years, and it was upside down and sideways, and every single day the Philippines was changing its rules on its entry requirements. There's nothing that anybody could do about that. There wasn't. We just had to roll with it. Um, but I'm one of the lucky ones, or I was one of the lucky ones, because I knew that anytime I wanted to, because I'm married to a Filipina national, that's Minnie, that I could enter the Philippines anytime that I wanted to, so long as we were together, right? And we had the proper documents. So I went into this website. So now, listen, we went through the one house pass, and I didn't find that to be particularly daunting experience. It was more of an annoyance, an inconvenience. They had to go in and figure out how that website worked in order to fill out all the stuff online that would get me that QR code that would eventually get me entry into the Philippines. But all that stuff has gone away. And if you want some good information on how the whole thing works nowadays, as far as being the spouse of a Filipina, then particularly a Western spouse, of a Filipina, then you go into TravelWise, and they have an article. It says, "What is Balikbayan program for the Philippines?" And so, if you're planning on marrying a Westerner, what did I say? Oh, I combined those two words together. If only I can travel without mommy, I will join and come to you. Oh no, you don't get motion sickness. They have pills for that. Yeah, I used to get sick on a boat. I no longer do. That would have been bad, huh, Larry, to be in the Navy and then sick on a boat. That one, after a while, people would get really annoyed with you. All right, but let me just go over it real quick. All right. The program it allows visa-free entry to the Philippines for a period of up to 1 year for foreign passport holders, right? With the exception of restricted nationals, which we know they don't want criminals coming in the country. It also includes a shopping privilege. So basically, it's a privilege, and that is the way it works, that if you are married to uh, a Philippine national, you can never you can become nationalized in the country that you're living in. So let's say, for example, Ma'am Minnie has U.S. citizenship, right? And she's going to be applying for dual citizenship in the Philippines. Once we're going to start that whole process once we get back. But if you're born in the Philippines, you never really can get rid of that citizenship. You don't. It changes name, but you're always considered a Filipino if you were born on Filipino soil. So now the privilege is that anytime that you or your spouse want to return back to the Philippines, and you have your birth certificate, your marriage certificate, and an old Philippine passport, You and your children can enter the Philippines for underneath that Balikbayan privilege for a period of 1 year. It is not a visa, it's free, and you don't have to pay for it. You don't pay for it, it's free. It's a privilege, it's not a visa. And then you could extend it. You can extend it. Yes, you could say that retirement drove me to drink, Tim. You can extend it for up to 3 years. So you can get a second extension and a third extension, and you're good to go. So it isn't necessary for me to, I don't even have to have clearance when I leave after, as long as I leave the country within the first year. For people that are on other visas and other programs, they have to get clearance if they've lived in the Philippines for a period of 6 months or longer. For a Balikbayan privilege, you don't have to do that unless you're leaving. You've been living in the Philippines without leaving the country for over a year and a day, I guess it is. Then you have to go get clearance, which is a big pain and costs money. And then you can leave the country. They just have to make sure that you're not wanted for anything, right? I would worry more about the sugar than cholesterol. Yeah, actually, sugar is a it's a killer. Yeah, I would agree with you. Sugar actually is probably the worst thing that you could do. And so the donut thing, it's probably not going to work out for me because they're finding out it causes heart disease and all this other stuff, right? I love Bavarian Classic. It's okay for me with coffee. Yes, with coffee. Now, someone said iced coffee in one of my comments, right? And so, but I'm a hot coffee drinker most of the time, right? Thank you, admins, for supporting our good hearted. Oh, you're so kind. You really are. Thank you. You're really kind. I thank you. I thank everybody uh, who's offered up their support. You can see the channel is growing by leaps and bounds. It's a little bit scary, but I have been approached, by people calling me a YouTube superstar. That's kind of weird. I'm not. I'm not in any way close to being that. But hey, speaking of becoming a superstar, Mel here. So I'm gonna tell you, Melanie was. I'm glad you're here, Mel. Mel was the first one to call me and contact me, and then say, you know what, you're a nice guy. I'm gonna push you. I'm gonna push you forward. I'm gonna help you as much as I can. And Mel went to work. I mean, she spent hours promoting, and then others started to follow. But Mel was actually the very first, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, to offer up support. And she's very generous with her time. That's the thing. If you're just starting out, Mel is the go-to. She's very generous with her time. I'm not saying take advantage of it, but I took advantage of it. Anna May says, "Oh, she loves it. Krispy Kreme is good. I'm not gonna lie and say Krispy Kreme is a garbage donut. Well, it kind of is a garbage donut. I mean, you gotta see, you gotta see how they make them. But then I'm sure that Dunkin' Donuts are all machine made. See, when I was working for them, I was making them by hand. That's a way different process. Making them by hand is very similar to the way they make them in the Philippines by hand. And so you want a handmade donut for 5 pesos, you go down to the bakery and get yourself one. I don't discriminate. You don't have to go to the Dunkin'. That just happens to be where I hang out. So if there were a Krispy Kreme in Bye Bye, I probably would be going down to the Krispy Kreme. I don't know. I probably would if there were a Starbucks there. I probably would be going down there. So they're building a new mall, by the way, a regional mall in Bye Bye City, right there by the Baywalk. And I'm hearing rumors that Mickey D's and Starbucks are going to be in there. It makes sense to me. There's plenty of business in Bye Bye. It's a small little town, but there seems to be plenty of business. I can barely squeeze through the door at the Jollibee. But the reason why is because I can't fit through the door at the Jollibee. No, 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 no. There's a line. There's a line going around the building. Anyway, so that's what you guys from the States, you need to get married to a Filipina, and then you get the balikbayan privilege. Then you have hassle-free life in the Philippines. It's hassle-free. It's a beautiful life. Mabel says, "Some here, I love donuts too, but I don't know the name of each donut. I just point to the sales lady and say this one and that one." Exactly. I think you're making a decent point. When you know the name of the donut, you better watch out. If you know the name, there's something seriously wrong with you. I've not been getting any views on my short videos. Have you done the candy skills challenge? That's how you get views, Tim. Or the M&M challenge. That's how you get views. Tim, listen, don't do it. Don't listen to Dan. Do not listen to Dan. You'll end up getting into trouble. Let's see. I don't like the taste. I'm not fond of sweets. My ex Seaman bought me a box of JCO before, and I shared it with my neighbors. I don't like the taste. Okay, there you go. I don't know what JCO is, or do I? You guys are just using the acronym for some name that I don't know. Say the whole name, and that way Dan knows what you're talking about. All right, Mel's still here, hand waving. Hand waving. Oh, Mel, don't be shy. Don't be shy. Yeah, so, let's see. What else? What else? What else? What else do I want to talk about? So that's that. So that's Balikbayan. First step, marry a Westerner if you're a Filipina. Westerner, marry a Filipina. If and then you'll get a balikbayan privilege, you see, and you get happiness for the rest of your life. Because then you get to be like Chris and Cebu, right? You got to like leave the country and come back a million times, and then finally some customs or immigration officer stops you and says, "Hey, but don't you think it's about time you apply for the proper resident visa so that you don't have to fill up your passport book with balikbayan stamps?" I don't know. I don't know if that's how it happens, but no one said a word to either Minnie or not. Oh, wait, we did. Oh, wait. No, I take that back. Immigration officer wanted to see the marriage certificate, but only after she had stamped the passport. Then I see her. I see her thinking. I see her going, maybe I'm being a little bit too quick on this. And then Minnie had gone before me. We didn't go up to the immigration together, and we will next time. When we re-enter this time, we're going to go together. But Minnie went by herself to the window. I was right behind her a few steps. The woman didn't figure out we were together until I went up to the window, handed her my passport, and I said, "We're balikbayan." And then Minnie stayed there because I asked her to. Don't go walking away until I'm entered, right? And I have the proper stamp. So then she goes, "Hey, hey, I have a question here." Oh, I said, "I have an answer." And then I called Minnie back over, and Minnie had her packet ready to go. And then she was satisfied very quickly. She saw that we had all the paperwork. See, it's in here. All the stuff you need. Where's your old passport? Birth certificate. It's in there? Where? It's not in here. Should all be together. It's not in here. Marriage certificate proof from Sacramento, California. You see that? Copies in case they want to keep a copy or make a copy. And basically, you need that and an old passport plus your current U.S. passport, and that's all you need. And reading this article and travel-wise was helpful because then I realized that we're missing out on taking advantage of tax-free stuff. You know, when you go out and you make purchases and you pay the tax, you can be reimbursed for those taxes under Balanced privilege. Not for everything, not for everything, but for it's conditional. Some things. If I could prove, for example, that the new computer is needed in my work of YouTube, then I get the refund on the taxes. What do they call it? The VAT? 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 Okay, well, my Visayan is a little weak. My Visayan, I admit, is a little bit weak. The only words I really know are "White cuarta." Is that Visayan or is that Tagalog? Uh, that's my favorite thing to say. White cuarta. See what Larry is that Dan is special, so he wants to live somewhere special. That's right. And why shouldn't you? When you're in the home stretch, you know, the final 15 or 20 years of your life, hopefully it'll be a little bit more, might be a little bit less. Who knows? You want to enjoy your life, right? You want to take advantage of your life. You don't want to be dodging bullets in the middle of downtown Sacramento. Oh yeah. Oh, Rancho Cordova. Oh, Tim, you know it so well. Yeah, that's a suburb of Sacramento. Exactly, Tim. Exactly. I forgot that you were at one of the Air Force bases there, and you know what I'm talking about. And so even back then, it was bad. You know, it was bad in that Rancho Cordova area. It's still bad in parts of Rancho Cordova. I mean, the sheriff is, you know, has that jurisdiction now, but or no, yeah, the sheriff under that's right. Uh, the sheriff has a contract. It's called Rancho Cordova Police Department, but the sheriff has the contract for providing services there. Whoo-wee. Anyway, and you know, things have gotten better. I'm not going to tell you they've gotten worse there in Rancho Cordova, but better is it's all relative. You know, what do you mean better? You know, you might make it through driving through Cordova without being randomly, you know, hit by a random bullet. It wasn't meant for you. You just got in the way. Yeah, coconut wine. That's right. And so I don't partake in the coconut wine. It's because I have to know, I have to actually watch the person making it before I will actually take a sip. It's not that I haven't partaken in the coconut wine before, I have, but not, I have to, if it's homemade, I have to watch them make it. I have to, I have to feel comfortable, you know, with the person making the coconut wine. I don't know if that makes any sense or not. So anyway, I don't know what's. I wanted to share one more thing. Okay, before I go, yeah. I want to share a couple more things. Um, we'll get off the high crime rate for California for right now. Dan, I don't care what you say. I'm not married, man. Yeah. Although I think you two you'd get along just fine. But anyway, Nitban. Okay, so I hope Nitban doesn't mind me sharing this part of it either. If you never seen Nitban on the channel again, then he was upset that I mentioned that he was suffering from, you know, he was suffering from a little bit of jet lag, even though he is a world traveler. The mysterious man from the east was, and also he had worn himself out because he took a side tour, you know, which I think he did a beautiful job. You go to Nitban's page on Facebook, if you can find him, because he doesn't use his name, his stage name, Nitban. If you can find him, right, then he took some beautiful photographs of Taiwan when he did the tour of some of the historic buildings and other extravaganzas, I guess you'd call them, that Taipei has to offer because he had a 16-hour layover there. I'm living in Manila, Sudan. Oh yeah, I know you're there because I have it in my mind that we're going to meet one day, anime. So I know if we're going to be there for a day or 2 days, then I'm going to call. I'm going to call and we're going to meet. We're going to meet up. I got a bro there. I got my friend Manuel there. I don't know if Manuel is lurking in the background, but Manuel and anime and also Larice are on my mind for meetups. Yeah, but it's complicated. It's complicated. So is Daisy Lynn. I don't see Daisy Lynn here, but Daisy Lynn and Filipino Raquel. You kind of have to make see when you're going. If you're going to go, you have to make eh, this wide. If I wanted to catch everybody, right, meet everybody, you have to make kind of like this wide circle. Through Manila, make a wide turn around going through Pampanga, and then I could scoop up everybody. I think I could scoop everybody up and see everybody, except I would miss Larice because Larice is too dang far away. I would have to import Larice. I hope you don't mind me saying that, Larice. You have to import Larice. My older brother would always get sick the first day out. He would be okay afterwards. Oh, on the boat. Yeah. Yeah. I'm okay. I don't get motion. I used to get motion sickness, but I no longer do, and I don't know why. It just goes away. After a while, it goes away. I guess you spend enough time in the air, and then it goes away. All right. So I want to tell you a little bit about that second hotel after we moved from. We're still in Pattaya now. Now I'm going all over the place, but we're in Pattaya, Thailand, and we already had planned to move away from the party side of Pattaya once the I got the video shots I wanted. The video shots of the dragon dance and the celebration and all that. Oatmeal cookies, Larry, you could do worse than oatmeal cookies. I'm telling you. So I'm a oatmeal fan in general. Tim says he hasn't left the Philippines since 2019. I see no need to leave. Mabel, thank you so much. So anyway, where was I? I was talking about. Oh yeah, so we moved from that hotel to Central Pattaya, and this caught me totally and completely by surprise, right? Because I was paying the same rate for being in the entertainment section as I was being in the central part, which is about $27 per night, give or take. Could have been a little more, could have been a little less, which is reasonable, which I thought was reasonable. Well, anyway, we moved to this new hotel, and it is a service department, and it didn't either. I wasn't reading, the description very well because I thought it said hotel, but they were actually service apartments. So then when we check in, we get upstairs to our apartment, and I see that these things are fully equipped with kitchenettes and microwaves and coffee makers and everything you need. It's a furnished apartment, basically a studio. And I'm a superstar. Oh yeah. Listen. To know you, Larry, is to love you. Absolutely. And so it's just a matter of time. The whole YouTube thing is a matter of time. Everyone knows that. It's a numbers game. It's basically a numbers game. And so eventually everybody gets there. You just have to stay with it. The secret is with YouTube, you have to stay with it long enough. And I would say that just about everyone here in the chat has figured this out. And so now they're getting YouTube checks in the mail. And I think it's fantastic. It's unbelievable. So anyway, we go up, man, Minnie and I, and we're like, holy crap. We're only here for like 5 days in the second hotel, but they turn out to be service department. They have everything. It was, a big place, not like what we're in. We're in kind of a closet now. But anyway, it was a very, very, yeah, I'm doing a live stream from the closet. You can see back here. Anyway, yeah, it doesn't, the lighting's not very good either. Well, anyway, how about a Tim Hortons? Never made it up to Tim Hortons because every time I tried, Tim Hortons is just up the street. And so we're going to make that the focus of our attention. We have to go to that Tim Hortons. Well, anyway, we end up in the service apartment. And the first thing the gal says when we check in is, "What would you like for breakfast in the morning?" She has us a menu. And so we selected, and this is the first time that this ever happened to me. I've never had anybody ask me, "What do you want for breakfast tomorrow morning?" So I kind of looked at Minnie and I said, "Make your selection." They fill out a piece of paper, and then, "What time would you like to eat?" And then we told them, "Oh, we're early risers, so how about 7:30?" They said, "Fine." They put down on the little tag what we wanted to eat and what time. And so I was telling Minnie, well, so the next morning we're getting up and we're ready to go. I said, "Come on, let's head down and have breakfast," right? So I don't want to be late for breakfast. They're making it special for us, right? And then all of a sudden there was a tap on the door like that. You guys hear that? Tap on the door. Sound effects this morning. What, Tim? There is a Tim Hortons at SM Clark. They're expanding all over the place. That's great. So we'll get to test them out when we're there. There's a knock at the door. Continue on with the story. I open it, and there is a young lady, albeit a very attractive young lady, handing me breakfast. And I was like, "What? This is amazing." So now in this small apartment, they had a dining table, which was adequate. It wasn't a big one. It was a small little, looked more like a card table to me, but it worked out just fine. And I set everything up. I said, "Wow, this is fabulous. Look at this." And they had all our food, and they had fresh fruits, and this whole spread. And this went on for 5 days. It was the same routine. You'd go down, you select what you wanted for breakfast, and there'd be a tap at the door at the designated time. You'd open it, there'd be your food, almost like catering, right? And so I was thinking to myself, they have a restaurant downstairs, but it remained closed. And so this must have been, I thought, a quarantine hotel. And they just decided that it was working out so well to do business this way, contactless breakfast, contactless everything, that they decided to keep, when they did away with all these standards and requirements, they must have decided that this was working out for them if they would just hang with it. And so that's how I think, that was my thought, just my idea that we probably were in a formerly quarantine hotel. Larice and Marianne is here. I'm just thinking that they just kept with that program. And the more I thought about it, the more sense that it made to me that they do it that way. It not only was safer, but it was more cost effective too, because if you could order the catering service in advance to bring up the prepared food and then deliver it, just imagine the stars you would get for that. Imagine the likes you would get for that. When you did the review on the hotel, and imagine how intimate and quaint and the whole experience was. It was absolutely fantastic. And of course, I was, irritated with myself. I said, "Shoot, I made a mistake. We should have been here the whole time." We have a service department. It's got everything you need. It's in a most comfortable setting. And it just turned out, and it was inexpensive, relatively inexpensive anyway. And so it was a very, very pleasant experience. And so I wanted to share that with you. And that was, it was just outstanding. Now, concerning food and Thai food, I'd like to say this, that I've had that things are getting, this whole thing where people go on and they say how inexpensive the food is and all this other stuff. Well, we went to Tree Town in Pattaya, If you look that up on YouTube, you'll see all these videos on Tree Town, how you have all these massive selections of food. Then afterwards, you could go to one of the bars, and then you can enjoy 50 baht beers and all this other stuff, right? So here's my opinion on Tree Town. I don't know about. I could have done the same meal on a at a street stand, a street food vendor for far less than what I was getting in Tree Town. So I just wanted to point, in case you're planning on going to Thailand, someone says, let's go to Tree Town. It's an experience, but I'm not sure it's an experience that you should have. I think you can do a lot better in different venues around town. I think that if you, one obvious reason why you'd go to Tree Town would be if you're a single man, right? If you're a single man, you're looking for a date, a companion, you would go to Tree Town and you would, get with someone and say, hey, would you like to go? Would you like to go and have a meal? And you get the ball rolling, most likely in the direction that you would like it to go. But Tree Town was relatively expensive, even though they kind of lure you in there with all these fantasies of great food on the cheap. It was not that experience for me. For Matt, Minnie, and I, we sat there and we had a nice meal. There was nothing wrong with it. The food was good. Crystals is here. Hi, Crystals. Good to see you. So Crystals cracks me up. She's a funny. She's very. She's very. Hey, Crystals. Crystals. Listen, I have something I want to share with you. I just happen to have them here. All right. All right. So I have this traditional elephant. See that I got. Winnie. Yeah, I know. I know. Tim was making fun of me saying, Dan, that's not elephant noise. That's horse noise. I don't know. The camera view looks crappy, but I've got this traditional jungle elephant. And then I've got this circus elephant right here. So I got this one. This one's the bigger of the two, but I wanted to give you a choice. I don't know how. I have no idea yet how I'm going to get these one or the other to you. But anyway, I like both of them. What can I say? Anywho. So the Tree Town experience, go on. Yeah, that's right. Dodging balls. It's just I'll tell you what is more closer to the game Frogger. That's trying to cross the street anywhere in Thailand. It doesn't matter where you are. If you're in Pattaya or you're in Bangkok, you better be damn careful across the street, right? Oh, one thing impressive about Bangkok is that they're out there. So Matt, Minnie, and I, we had to run out early this morning. We got up early. I was Crystals. Crystals, you trying to send me a message? Are you? Hey, listen. We got up early. Everybody's looking at us a little bit strangely. But we got up early. We were out and about at 5 a.m. in the morning. We went to bed early too. We went to bed at somewhere around 9. And no, I was not in a drunken stupor. No, none of that happened last night. So anyway, we went down to the 7-Eleven. I had to get my morning cup of coffee, and I also had to get a few other things. Like I had to get some toothpaste, some deodorant because I don't want to stink today, and some different man things, right? And so, what was impressive was that they were out there early, sweeping the sidewalk, cleaning them. The trash collection truck was out there, and they were getting the place all ready for a spectacular weekend, apparently. And so it was busy last night. When we were out and about, it was busy. But we were out earlier, and we had a couple of libations. You know what libations are, right? We had a couple of beers, and Minnie and I. and it was busy. We could see it was going to be busy, but we had a long travel day. It was a couple hours drive coming back from Pattaya to Bangkok. And by the way, even though we treated ourselves and we took a taxi to Pattaya from Bangkok, the return trip we took the bus. What's the reason, you ask? What's the reason? Was it because you're broke? You didn't want to throw your money around? No, it's because the bus station turned out to be directly across the street from where we were staying. Did Nitban step in here and I missed him? Nitban, I'm lost. I'm lost in my thoughts. So anyway, we were making fun of you earlier, Nitban. And anywho, so we ended up getting on this luxury bus. Turned out that we were the last two seats on the early bus, the 10:30 bus, to get from Pattaya to Bangkok. And it's set up so nicely that it practically dumped us at the hotel that we're staying at. It dumped us out. It goes from that North Pattaya bus station straight to Ikamai, and all we had to do was climb up to the BTS. That's the train that delivers you to wherever you need to go in Bangkok, practically. And so we went there and took the train only 4 stops away from that bus stop, got off, and then we made our way. It was about a 10-minute walk to the hotel, and so it was a very nice setup. But anyway, but the cost difference was, as you can imagine, enormous, right? The cost difference was, it was $45 US money. That's 1,500 baht to take the taxi from the hotel doorstep to hotel doorstep, Bangkok to Pattaya, and it was all of $8 for Man Minnie and I to get back. So it was probably less than $8. So, um, and maybe 50 cents or so for the bus ride, for the train ride. So we did good. We did good getting back. But now we're in the home stretch. We'll be leaving Thailand soon. We're heading for Manila, and then we'll probably go to Pampanga so we can hang around with Tim for a little while and share a meal with Tim. That'll be fun. Gossip, you know, man talk, stuff like that. And then, uh, men are very gossipy. You women know that. We gossip about just about anything. And we'll talk about stuff, and then we'll decide, if I can get a plane, man, maybe I can get a plane ride home, because none of that, I've got nothing set up. No hotel in Manila, nothing set up for Pampanga, Angeles City, or anything. Angeles City, how do you say it? Yeah, the City of Angels. None of that's set up. Don't even have a plane flight back home to Cebu, because that's probably the route I'll take. We'll probably go back once we decide we want to go home. We should make an appearance. Then we'll head to Cebu, and I know what's going to happen. I know what's probably going to happen. We'll get to Cebu and say, maybe we ought to spend a few days in Cebu. Go find some white sandy beach, to hang out at, and then we will make our way back over the fast ferry to Bye Bye City, or to Ormoc and then Bye Bye City. I think it's going to go something like that. So I'll bet you, even though we're only a few days away from leaving Thailand, we're probably still a couple of days away from getting back home to Bye Bye City Leyte. But when we do get back home, then I'm inviting all of you over. I'm going to invite all of you over for pancit or spaghetti, whatever we happen to have. All right, Mel, that means you. Des, where's Des? That means you too, Des. And all our friends that are in the area of Bye Bye City. Mark is in the house. Candatum or anywhere around there. Mel, what's the city? What's the name of the town you live in? Caridad. Caridad, you guys will all be invited. Party at our place. All the beer you can drink. Yeah, that's right. That's right. Elephant Man, they call me. The Elephant Man. Laurice. All right, all right. Who's tagging me? Who is tagging me? Let me see. Let me catch up here. Oh, that looks yummy, Laurice. That looks very yummy. And I got a message from LoveX. If you haven't gone into LoveX's channel, LoveX Kicks, then you need to go over there and support her channel also. She's busy doing some administrative work right now, and so she's not. I don't think she's on the live, but or maybe she's listening. But did my elephant get down? Of course. We're feeding you're feeding your elephant. How do you think the elephant ended up getting so big? Crystals. Oh man, oh man, oh man. All right. I think we're wrapping it up. And the reason why is because Dave is calling me. Dave is calling me, and I don't want to lose the opportunity. If he's in the mood for buying us breakfast, then I don't want to lose that opportunity of getting a freebie for breakfast this morning. So, Larry, where are you, my friend? Larry. Yeah, I'll know. I'll let you. I'll give you 2 days in advance. How about that? I'll give you a warning. I'll always warn you, Tim, before I'm coming. I'll always warn you because I know you go out of town and do different things. Now, I won't just show up as a surprise. I just won't say, Tim, I'm here. Even though I like to do that to people. Folks, I've had a great live. I hope you enjoyed it. Share your thoughts. Once it becomes a video, make your comments. Don't worry about offending me. I realize what an offensive guy I could be. But hey, Larry Lee is going to take us out of this live stream by presenting his famous words of wisdom. Take care of yourself, everyone. Stay safe and healthy. Plus, as always, try to have fun. And we will attempt to do this again next week. Anime, Laurice, Crystals, Mel, everybody in the house. Thank you so much, Menge. Thank you so much for being here. I truly appreciate it. Let's do it again next week. Bye, everybody. Bye, everybody. See you next time.